Greetings. My name is William. I'm representing Peachtree Property Management, where we invest in fixing whole rental properties located in B, C, and D class communities. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to today's podcast, Real Estate for Beginners. Today is July the 31st, 2025. I want to thank everyone that has been listening to my lives on Instagram at Peachtree Property Management and on TikTok, which is WAG Realty LLC. And well, it could be WAG Realty. Don't hold me to that, but it's either WAG Realty or WAG Realty LLC. And also for staying tuned to my subscribing and liking my YouTube, WAG Realty LLC of North Carolina. And it is also WAG Realty LLC of NC. So NC stands for North Carolina. Um, so uh, Everyone knows I deal with low income properties. We on my lives, I've been talking about opportunity zone funds. I've been talking about um, affordable housing, the difference between that and Section 8 and workforce housing, and the new laws that's coming in with dealing with workforce housing, and how we have a lack of middle income housing. And and basically for the ones that are new here, basically I've curated this podcast and all the other social media platforms to basically battle gentrification. Not saying gentrification is bad, but being able to keep the people that are quality people in the neighborhood instead of pricing them out and then bringing in nicer things, allowing them to enjoy the nicer things because basically they help sustain the neighborhood. That's where they grew up. Because you make less money don't mean you're not a quality person. So, we can, instead of trying to get rich off one house, just keep buying houses over, and don't go in the hole with them, but you won't be able to charge $350, $400, but you also don't have to charge $3,000, $2,600. You find that middle range for you, that comfort zone. And for the ones that have been tuning into my lives, and like I said before, I just want to thank everyone, and I'm gonna try to put this in a podcast form, what I've been talking about on my lives. So I'm gonna probably break this up into 2 or 3 different podcasts, so it won't be too long. I try to keep my podcast in between 15 and 10 minutes, sometimes a little less. So today, I want to talk to you about what's been going on with. I had a rental property that took about, I say, 4.5 years because of COVID, the moratorium, evictions, trying to work on 4 or 5 houses at the same time once I got those people out because they were a lot farther along than this current house. I'm renting it out to a nonprofit organization for $1,000. It's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. So they running it as a boarding house. They are associated, affiliated with the VA. So they handle these people's checks. They teach these people how to handle, I guess, living on their own. Some of the people were homeless, or some of them for years have been living with other family members. So I don't know what the organization charges, but I charge $1,000. They charge whatever they charge, but they give the people free furniture. Um, what else? They gave them, couches, beds, end tables, chest of drawers, food, stuff like that. So they supply a lot of things, and they make sure the people can handle the schedule of putting the trash out, cleaning. They help the people clean. They take the trash off. They drive these people places. Some of them don't have transportation, so it's three men, I believe, that are living in this house. And y'all know how I feel about boarding houses. Like it should either be all women or it should be all men. I really don't believe in mixing. I mean, if you do an apartment, of course you can mix, but typically a boarding house, there's a certain type of people that live in there. Even though this is VA, some of the people have their different issues or hangups. And it could be for whatever reason, drugs. It could be because of the war, or just chemical imbalances that's been happening throughout their life. All right, so again, I believe if you're going to do a boarding house, just keep it the same gender if you believe in gender, so or whatever it may be. Um, so we were able to get the property finished. And I'm not, I try to tell everybody the good and the bad. I don't tell you the bad to discourage you, but I tell you the bad to make you stronger and make you more aware of what can happen, and hopefully use my scenarios to help you in yours. So get the house finished, no problems throughout the this whole time, and then finally get the people in, and the people are trying to help them move, and the neighbor wants to block the road. So not really, well, block the road and block the driveway. So the driveway is mine. Um, she claims her landlord told her it's hers. They never used the driveway. And like I said before, I didn't own this property for some years. These people haven't been there the whole time. They just moved in, but they haven't used it. So they blocking off parts of the road. I mean, it's in the city. You can park in the road, but they block off my driveway by parking the car that doesn't move in there, so we can't move it, use it. And then they block off their driveway, which is a little, on the other side of the house. So it's like you blocking off two roads. Some people want to be a butthole, but the way that I was told to handle it, the police just told me to tow the car, because basically I know the property lines. The people, there's an empty lot to the right of the house, and they just got the land surveyed, and they put the flags and everything up, and that driveway to the right of the house is there. So common sense to tell you, well, if you see flags all over the place, but some people just don't think. Um, and that, so on the left side of the street, all houses go to the left. All driveways go to the left of the house. On the right side, on the other side, all driveways go to the right. But she comes out and she has an attitude. She's one of the only people in the house that speaks English. Not sure why she has an attitude. Um, Whatever it may be. But police told me to tow the house. I mean, tow the car. They have other cars that's blocking my other house, that don't even move. All right, so it has like flat tires. I think the tag on it has ran out. Um, and what else? It's just a lot of hiccups, a lot of problems. I won't say that. I won't say a lot, but those are the problems. Everything else is going smoothly. Um, Let me think. Some of the things I've been talking about on my, so I just want to, excuse me, mention that and encourage people, and just know that even though some bad things happen, good also happens, and the good, outweighs the bad, because I got the place rented. Right now, nobody drives. They're, like I say, they're VA people come pick them up. They can still pick them up in front of the house. That I was told by the city I had to take them to civil court and all this, but I wait on down the line, build up my income, build up my um, lower my stress levels. Because I mean, like I say, real estate is stressful. A lot of people will tell you, oh, once you buy the property, then you get the what is that? You get the residual income every month and blah blah blah. But sometimes it doesn't work out like that. It doesn't work out that you can just get the income coming in automatically. It takes time. It takes money. So with this podcast, I like to tell people how to interact with the workers, how to interact with the city, the zoning board and everybody else, the neighbors, and it takes a team, and sometimes in that part of your team for a long time, and how to cut ties with people. Also talked about W-9s, and and that may be what I talk about today. With my podcast or with my lives, I think about what to talk about, and then I kind of go with that, and that's kind of how I guess I'm gonna do right now. So when you're dealing with who is this, with plumbers, electricians, people, when you have things, when you're not going to live on the property for a year and a half, you have to have people that have license to pull these permits. So you have to do a W-2. No, rephrase that. You have to do a W-4. You have to get one of those forms, have them sign it, before they start the job. If they are trying to not sign things, that means they're trying to hide on their taxes. But then you look at their price and they're not going down with their price, then you got to tell them, I need you to go down with your price if you don't want this, because it's basically they're gonna look at it and try to treat it like tax-free money. Because a lot of these guys that do this type of work, these independent contractors, they'll make. And this one guy told me, and it hurt him in the long run. He said it looked like on taxes he made 50,000, but he said in all actuality he was clearing $250,000 a year. And he said some years that was after he paid his workers. But he said that came back to hurt him, because now when you go to retire, he's in his 50s, and you go to retire, you have only $50,000 to show for taxes every year after year after year. So the 250,000 you could have been putting in, he was just spending his money right then. It wasn't thinking about the future. All right. And so that's some things you got to think about. So you got to do your I think I might have told y'all first time I think I said W-2, W-4. It's a W-9. So if I'm not trying to confuse you, so it is W-9. I misspoke. Um, so after you do the W-9, then after they finish the work, you can probably do it towards the end of the year. Again, it's the W-9, but towards the end of the year, you're going to do a 1099 NEC. So the 1099 NEC is for independent contractors. So when you give them the form, they can put on there their social, they can put on there the address, and it's a whole list of things. And the way you can do this, you can either save the files on the RS form. You can go to what's that bit? Not Best Buy. Is it Big Lots? Get the forms. It's like $40, $50. I don't know if it's per form or per certain amount of copies. Now, if you go to the state website, it's free. Download it as a PDF, and you can email it. You can mail it to them. They can mail it, email it back to you. Emailing is a little more efficient. Email it to them. They sign it. Now, there's going to be two copies of the W-9 and the 1099 NEC. All the forms. Don't do the one that's in the red. The one that's in the red is like a to help you walk through. And then the other one, that's the one that's in the black, is the one they want filled out. So they put all the information. They can put the EIN, the social security number, all of that on both forms or whatever. Put the amount, I guess, that that they spent. So when you're doing this, make sure you're um, you're documenting. It could be Cash App, PayPal. You keep how much you're paying them, and if you're doing it, old school money and stuff, not money, but well, if you're doing money, keep receipts, have them signed too. But you can do like money orders, certified checks, and keep that information. So when you go to get your tax accountant or you go do your taxes, even I think it's up to you to file it. They're supposed to file it too, but for sure, I think more of the pressure relies on you as the person that hired them. Now it can be a sticky situation with the 1099 NEC and whether you should give them a W-9 compared to a W-2 or whatever it may be. One of them W-2, W-4, one of those, to say that they work for you. Well, I think it's a W-2. The W-2, that they work for you, because if you tell them what tools to use, what hours to work, what house to work on at a certain time, and when to cut off, you're now dictating to them like you're their employer and not like a 1099, like not a independent contractor. So if I'm not mistaken, so you don't get this confused, a W-2 is them working for you. A W-4 is how much them saying how much taxes should be withheld. A W-9 is saying that they are an independent contractor, and you're hiring them for a certain job. You have to do this if you go to pay them more than $600 out the year. And a 1099 NEC is just saying how much you paid them, and that they're going to file and stuff like that. So basically, independent contractors, a W-9 and a 1099 NEC. All right. Um, but like I said, those are things I experienced on this job, and 1099 independent contractors in the past experienced those too. The house looks nice. It everything takes time. Um, Looks like I have a freeze on the camera, so I keep talking. Um, but also with Trump's new tax rules, what's what not sure what's going on with the camera, but with Trump's new tax rules, hopefully I don't mind. I'm gonna cut the camera off. And if it's I put this not just on the podcast, but I also put it on YouTube and other platforms. So if you're on the podcast, I guess it's no big deal. You won't be able to see me. For most of the podcast anyway. Um, Trump's new tax form. So you got I call it the BD. So that is the bonus depreciation. And so what happens is, if you buy a piece of equipment and it's used for your job, that piece of equipment you can write. So if it's 40,000, the old tax law said you can write off 40% of it, or $40,000. And then the new tax law says you can write off the whole thing that tax year. All right, so that's just so 100% depreciation, bonus depreciation, 100%. So if you buy a vehicle and the vehicle meets like either 5 or 6,000 pounds, it can be what do people like, G wagons? It can be a truck or whatever, some type of business expense. It may not have to be like that $6,000 weight, but I think it does. But you use it for business. You have writing on it, promoting your business, traveling here, there, and then anywhere else, and you can write off 100% of it. Even though you say that the vehicle was 100,000, you only put down $10,000. So you can write off the whole $100,000, even though you only spent 10,000. If you have a podcast like what you're listening to now, buying the cameras, the equipment, the sound equipment, whatever it may be, and it costs you $25,000. And this goes for this scenario will be for the ones that have also a W-2. So you can write off the whole 25,000. Say you bring in 5,000, so that's a write off of that's you've been in the negative of 20,000. So you just wrote off $25,000, 100% of that. Now you're taking a loss of 20,000, and since it's your podcast, you can put that 20,000 towards your W-2. So say you make 80,000, you're only going to be taxed on 60,000. So these new tax laws, supposed to help people out and save more money because basically in the United States we're a capitalistic society, so money has to make money. All right, and then they have it investment in incentives or investment taxes. Zero to 48,000 after you take the money out, long term investment over a year, I guess. After you take that money out and you pay your fees and deductions, so $48,000 unless you get taxed 0%. 333 was from 48,000 and $1 all the way up to 333,000 after deductions and long term investment. You are going to be taxed at 15%. I can't remember the other tax if you make over 333,000 after you long term invested after you paid your fees. Um, but that's just, like I say, I'm gonna make this. I don't want to make this podcast too much longer. It's right at 16 minutes. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on Facebook, Affordable Housings. You can hit me up at Peachtree Property Management. You can hit me up at WAG Realty on TikTok. You can also hit me up on let me see. Real estate for beginners. This podcast, and I'll try to answer any of your questions. If you want to donate, you can do that. You can reach out to me on how to donate. Um, you can reach out to my Cash App, WAG Realty. Is my Cash App or WAG Realty LLC. But like I say, if you hit me up, I'll give it to you for sure. And we can all help make or help keep housing affordable, and I can point you in the right direction. All my information I give out is free. I have people hit me up on TikTok and on Facebook all the time. So I give out as much information as I can when I can. All right, until next time, peace out.